SummerSlam 2010 had a lot of flops to it, and if it weren't for two matches on this pay-per-view, I would have given this. I would have given it up. I just would have just stopped watching this pay-per-view at all, and maybe I should have. So if you're a fan of the Nexus angle, Orton and Sheamus feud, or you just want to see the return of the Undertaker, I would recommend this. But fuck, I just spoiled it. But who cares? That's just what I do. All right, we all know what happened. Come on, it's sort of 4 years ago. Give it a break. So let's get right down to SummerSlam 2010. The first match was Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental Championship. It was a pretty good match, good starter match, but the Nexus came out and broke it up, which is kind of a drag, even though I knew something like this was going to happen throughout the night. It was pretty. You basically knew it was going to happen. Which brings us to Cameron's favorite match. If you've seen her, Cameron, one of the Funkadactyls, or Ariana, Total Divas, you would know that she was on Tough Enough. She was on Tough Enough that Stone Cold Steve Austin hosted. She was up for elimination, and Stone Cold asked her what her favorite match was, and she said the next match that on SummerSlam 2010, Molina versus Alicia Fox for the Divas Championship. It was not bad, but it was kind of boring, and Lay Cool coming in afterwards was a waste of time. However, I was pretty happy that Molina won here. She did win here. It was an okay match. She won with a move that nobody thought was her finisher, and she still got no reaction. And it brings us to a 3-on-1 handicap match, The Big Show versus the Straight Edge Society. CM Punk, Luke Gallows, and Joey Mercury, with Serena in their corner. This feud has done nobody any favors, and The Big Show won which was basically a squash match. Really nothing to it, and the crowd did not care at all. Show basically took turns on beating on each of them, and aside from a short period of time where they tried hurting his hand, that was pretty much all it was for the Big Show and the Straight Edge Society. Not a bad match per se, just a nothing match. Which brings us to the WWE Championship match, the first good match of the night. Randy Orton versus Sheamus. It was not a real good match, but it was good enough. The match started out extremely slow and extremely boring. It was every Randy Orton and Sheamus match you've ever seen. Lots of stomps, etc. However, it built pretty well, and the last 5 minutes or so were heated and enjoyable. Right when the match was speaking, however, Sheamus brought in a chair into the ring, got tangled with the ref, and was disqualified. And, wow, what a horrendous finish. This wasn't even a B-show finish. Not to mention the finish to a WWE Championship match at freaking SummerSlam. It was just appalling, and the crowd hated it, especially considering how awful the show had been so far. After the match, Randy Orton went insane and RKO'd Sheamus on the announce table, but, again, it didn't break. And that had to suck. The match was pretty good, but would have been better and higher rated had it not been for the terrible finish. Which brings us to the World Heavyweight Championship match, Kane versus Rey Mysterio. Kane had brought out a casket to the ring just to make sure everyone on Earth knew that The Undertaker would come out of it later. Very average title match. The crowd is absolutely dead silent throughout this whole match, and the announcers even note of the hush that felt over the crowd. I laughed. Every Mysterio and Kane match you've ever seen, Kane eventually hits the chokeslam for the win. So Kane went to put Rey Mysterio in the casket. Went to everybody's, no one's surprise, The Undertaker came out. He teased attacking Rey, but let Rey go and tried chokeslamming Kane. But you see, The Undertaker is not as strong as he once was due to his stay in the vegetative state and Kane was able to power out and tombstone his own brother. The crowd did not like this or know what to make of it, but to be honest, this was the least interesting, at least an interesting plot twist, to say the very least. Now we get to the main event of the show. Team WWE, which featured John Cena, Bret Hart, Edge, Chris Jericho, R-Truth, John Morrison, and the returning Daniel Bryan against the Nexus. Wade Barrett, Skip Sheffield, David Otunga, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Michael Tarver, and Darren Young. Daniel Bryan replaced The Miz before the match even started, as everyone knows. Very long match, 35 plus minutes, and this was easily the best match on the show, and it was very good. But at the same time, it was really nothing special and probably below our standards of what a usual SummerSlam main event should be, because look at it, it's 7-on-7. It should be at some place like Survivor Series or something like that. Most everybody looked good, even Bret Hart for the brief amount of time he was in there. David Otunga, however, is horrendous in the ring. He can barely even run the ropes. It was just terrible. Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, and even Skip Sheffield shockingly impressed me. Or, as he's known now as Right Back. Unfortunately, the finish was absolutely horrific. The last thing that WWE should have done is beat the Nexus clean in their first pay-per-view. And that's exactly what they did. It came down to John Cena and Daniel Bryan against Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater. Miz comes out and murdered and pretty much hit Daniel Bryan in the back with a briefcase. And then it came down to 2-on-1. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen now. Oh, John Cena gets beat for almost 10 minutes, including a DDT on exposed concrete to the outside. Then Gabriel missed a 450 splash, gets pinned. Barrett runs in, walks into an STF, and taps clean in the middle of the ring in a couple of seconds. This sucked. I mean, vomit started to rise up in your throat when this took place. WWE better start getting some heat back for the Nexus, because the finish hurt them significantly, in my opinion, and was just another example of WWE being terrified to put over young talent over established superstars. Yeah, what a disgrace this show was, people. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. Stay away from this as far as possible. This is the 23rd SummerSlam, and easily is one of the top 5 worst ones there has ever been. I'm going to give SummerSlam 2010 a 3.5 out of 5. Best match of the night is the WWE versus the Nexus, and the worst match of the night was probably the Big Show versus the Straight Edge Society. That's SummerSlam 2010. Coming up next, SummerSlam 2011.